we're here now on Passover, April 2nd, 2007. And this is Evelyn Igloff and I'm Bob Aronoff. And we started this, or Evelyn started this matzo ball soup on March 18th. Back and forth, and bought it today. And now she's going to put it in the matzo balls into the soup and serve it later. And we're going to
after it's all nice and warm and puffed out.
Then we're going to get to see what everyone thinks of the matzo ball soup that you made this year.
Okay.
Thank you.
This matzo ball recipe came from Aunt Molly Marks, who I have no idea where she got it from, but it's a no-fail recipe.
Matzo balls, we love them. Matzo balls, we love them.
All right, now we'll mix up the matzo balls. Now, the recipe, I'm doubling the recipe. We put in 6 eggs. All right, so now we're going to put in 6 half egg shells of water. Believe me, it works. 5. Okay. 6. Oh, did I make a mess here? Okay. We need some salt. It calls for a teaspoon, but I'm making a double batch, so we put in 2 teaspoons. Scant. Now, this is the next thing. You go to, where is it? Okay. You can either go to Gelson's. Yesterday I found it at Ralph's. Empire makes chicken fat, rendered chicken fat. You don't want to get unrendered chicken fat because then you have to cook it and it's a real mess. 6 tablespoons of cold chicken fat, you know. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the olden days, your bubby, you never had a bubby. I had a bubby, a grandmother. And they used to take the chicken fat and they would cook it. And it would melt down and then they would toss out what was left called the gribinis. And everybody my age remembers eating gribinis. And for cholesterol, they were absolutely tops. So now we need 2 cups of matzo meal. And we put in the matzo meal. And when it's all mixed up good, we put it in the refrigerator till tomorrow. That's it. We're done. Go in the refrigerator. We'll keep it there overnight. And tomorrow I will cook more matzo balls.
Matzo balls in the chicken soup.
This is a big mess. And I am now cleaning the chicken to make the chicken soup. This chicken I bought at Gelson's. And this chicken weighed about 5.5 pounds, plus I had about 2 pounds of chicken backs. If you're lucky, you get a clean chicken. Sometimes you're not so lucky, you don't get such a clean chicken. But you have to make sure all the pin feathers are out of the chicken, and you wash it off good, and you put it in a pot. And the other thing that's very handy to have is a thing like this. You can either take the middles out of strawberries with it or pick out pin feathers with it. Oh, the other thing you want to be sure to do is cut as much of the fat off the chicken as you possibly can. Now we're going to cover this chicken with cold water and put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. Should be more than enough for Olivier. It's a little heavy. When it comes to a boil, it gets some scummy stuff on top, which you have to take off. One of the prerequisites for this whole project is to have a lot of big pots. Well, I could cover it now, probably boil faster. Yes, and then once we put the balls in there, we cover it. Now I'm going to clean the vegetables for the soup. We have a parsnip, a bunch of carrots, 2 big onions, and some celery, which is and some parsley. Well, I'm peeling them, taking the dirt off. And then we'll cut the tops off and the bottoms off. Last night I washed the parsley and put it in a plastic bag so it's clean. And what I'm gonna do is go get a piece of thread out of my sewing basket and tie this together so it doesn't float all over the soup and disintegrate. Now the celery, it says to use the tops as well as the stalks, so we will do that. Cut off the very ends, which are probably not so great, and cut off anything that doesn't look really great. And you want to make sure your celery is nice and clean. And cut off the ends. Okay, so that's ready to go whenever